This conference will now be recorded.
SAC Integrated Financial Planning. It's also called as S4HANA Financial Planning. Right? SAP used both the terms for this particular solution. SAC Integrated Financial Planning includes all operational planning relevant stuff like operational expenses planning, product cost planning, sales and profitability planning, capital expenditure planning, financial statement planning. Financial statement planning includes basically P&L planning, balance sheet planning, cash flow planning. So these are the areas covered in this particular integrated financial planning. So as part of this integrated financial planning, first we are going to understand the product. So in SAC, how can we uh, configure planning, or how can we model this particular SAC product? That's what we are going to do first. We are going to create models, dimensions which are required for these planning scenarios. So first we will understand what is the positioning of this SAP Analytics Cloud Planning. Then we will understand how to design the dimensions. So there are some types of dimensions: generic dimensions, account dimensions, and entity dimensions. So we are going to design those dimensions. Then on top of those dimensions, we need models to store the transaction data. We need models. We are going to create the planning models. So we have some exercises planned here. So all this right side, whatever you see, all these exercises, we are going to execute these exercises in the system. These exercises executed by me, and also you are going to execute it parallelly in the system, because we are going to use SAC trial user for these planning solutions. So we both can execute together. Then we are going to understand the planning core functionality, right? SAC planning functionality. Like in SAC, you can use forecasting techniques. You have different forecasting techniques. You can use like uh, let's say regression, time series. So we are going to understand those things. And you can perform top-down distribution. So we are going to understand distribution spread, how to do this top-down planning. We are going to execute currency translation. So the user can plan in the local currency, and they can convert those currencies to the model currency or whatever the currency they want. So how to perform that currency translation, we are going to understand. As part of forecasting technique, we are going to understand how to create rolling forecast input template, how to create forecasting templates. So we have those exercises: predictive forecast, rolling forecast, and also there is a technique value driver tree. For the driver based planning, we do the value driver tree. For the driver based planning, we are going to do the value driver tree. So this is the tool which we use for driver based planning. Then for any planning project, right, we need, it may be BPC, it may be SAC, it may be any other product. We basically need some calculations. So for example, you can plan your product prices at product wise. You can plan your quantity at customer level, right, customer product level. So now in order to calculate this revenue for customer wise, so the customer wise whatever quantity you plan, that should be multiplied with prices whatever you planned against the product, and that revenue should be generated and stored. This kind of calculations we can perform using data actions. There are some data actions delivered by SAP like copy, cross model copy, allocations. We will use those data actions. Also we will use scripting. There is Like in BPC embedded, you have Fox formulas. In BPC, standard, we used to have script logic. Here also we have advanced formulas. We are going to understand how these advanced formulas are generated, how these advanced formulas are generated using these particular data actions. I mean, so all the formulas can be calculated. Then we can, for all the calculations, we can define advanced formulas. Then allocating the data. So data allocation. So whatever your common cost, you can allocate to the sorry, different cost centers, right? So the common cost allocations, overhead allocations, we are going to understand as part of data actions and allocation processes. These steps, and then collaboration and process control. In this, whatever additional functionality required. So, for example, whenever we perform planning, there is a performer, there is a reviewer. Performer is going to enter the data, reviewer is going to review that particular data and approve that particular data. So for this, we need some process controls. We will understand how the process controls can be implemented in BPC, in SAC. Also, we are going to understand once the planning is completed, once the data is approved or reviewed, how to lock that particular data for changes. So that we are going to understand. We are going to understand uh, security, right? How the users, teams, roles defined in the system, and we will understand how the transport happens in SAC among those tenants. Once we understand this product, so now you have hands-on on the product. You understand the terminology of the product after this hands-on training. Then we will start with financial planning. As I said, financial planning or S4HANA financial planning or integrated financial planning. Both are same, right? SAC integrated financial planning or S4HANA financial planning. We are going to activate the content whatever delivered by SAP, and I will explain how the delivered content is adopted, how the delivered content is adopted for your customer requirements. So when the content is delivered with the sample data, we will execute, and I will explain at the end, I will explain how this content can be adopted. So as part of integrated financial planning, we are going to go through the process like capital expenditure planning, financial statement planning, sales and profitability planning, product cost estimate, and operational expenses planning. As part of operational expenses planning, we are going to plan cost center expenses and we will execute the allocations. And we are going to understand how the activity type prices are calculated and how the activity type prices are used in product cost estimate. As part of product cost estimate, raw material prices we are going to plan, and we will understand what is quantity structure like bill of materials plus routing, and how the quantity raw material prices multiplied with this quantity structure, activity type prices multiplied with this quantity structures, activities whatever we use, and we calculate the product cost for the lot size, then we'll calculate the product cost per unit. Sales quantities we will plan, sales prices we will plan. We will perform the discounts planning, deductions planning, and we will calculate profitability. So in order to calculate the profitability, you need the cost of goods sold. So product cost multiplied by the sales quantity, we will take it as cost of goods manufactured, and revenue we will take, and revenue minus cost of goods sold, I get the margin. So here in the sales and profitability planning, customer wise, product wise, you can calculate your profitability. After that, what all these models data, so these are the three different models, four different models I have, the including capex planning. So these models data I will transfer to financial statement planning. So I will transfer the data P&L planning. So from the capex planning, I will transfer the depreciation to this operational expenses. From the operational expenses, I transfer all the expenses to P&L. From the sales and profitability, I transfer revenue and COGS to the P&L statement. So net income calculated and transferred to balance sheet. Then based on the balance sheet, we are going to calculate the cash flow. So this scenario we are going to understand. So the same scenario I gave it here. We will understand different models available here and how these models are integrated. Uh, each and every model is integrated with the data. That also we are going to understand, right? So this is the course content we have. Mainly financial planning and the product SAC planning capabilities we are going to understand. Then we also why now the as I said, like, because yesterday's demo was cancelled, today I went through the demo. Also we will go through the uh, uh, system capabilities, SAC system capabilities. See here, why the customer go for this SAC planning solution, right? We already have that BPC. We already have BPC embedded, optimized. Yeah. So then why customer should go for this SAC planning solution, right? So then we need to identify the advantages when you compare with other products. Then only you can the customers can implement this particular SAC. So here in SAC you have rich modeling, right? So when you create a dimension, you feel like you are working in an Excel. So how you fill the data in Excel, same way you can fill the data in dimensions. Even you can uh, 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 collect the data from different sources. Here you can perform top-down planning. So top-down planning is an option. So for example, earlier in BPC we used to have top-down planning, but it was not built-in solution. We always go with a workaround. We create some dummy members and lot of things we perform, right? And one more thing, when I'm talking about SAC, I'm talking about BPC. It doesn't mean that you should know BPC to learn SAC, right? So anyone can I mean, if you have functional knowledge, you can easily go for FI knowledge. Functional knowledge, you can go for SAC. If you have BW background also, you can data warehousing background also, you can go for SAC. BPC, knowing BPC is not mandatory. Just some people are there who knows BPC, so that's why I'm just comparing. That's it. Other product. So top down planning is very good here. You can plan at month level, you can plan at quarter level, you can plan it half yearly, yearly. All the options are available. Even here, what if simulations? What if simulations, in the sense, if I change my raw material price, how is going to affect my product cost, how it is going to affect my profitability, how it is going to affect my P&L statement. You can run. You can just change the raw material and you can prices, and you can change, you can check where and all it is going to affect. You can configure your solution. You can change the sales quantity, how the sales quantity changes the resources, and how these resources are affecting your product cost. You can do it. And here you have another solution, private versioning. So always we know a version means category, right? Plan version, actual version, forecast version, right? So here you have public versions and private versions. So private version is personal, right? So I can store any version data, I can store it as my private version. Once I am okay with my private version data, then I can publish it as public version. This is a unique feature in SAC. Driver based planning, as I said, value driver tree we were discussing. So we are going to discuss value driver tree. So value driver trees are used for driver based planning. So based on market trend, so for example, if market index changes, how it is going to impact my price, and this price how it is going to impact my revenue, this revenue how it is going to impact my gross margin. So I can have some levels, some calculations based on the drivers. I can link these drivers with my KPIs, and I can look that value driver tree, right? So basically, value driver tree looks like a, fishbone, right? And your drivers are linked to this KPIs, and how if you change the driver, how it is going to affect your KPI, you can see in one screen. And you have predictive forecasting techniques, which helps you to estimate your numbers. So based on, see, basically, uh, any planning solution, what used to happen, people can copy the actual but plan data on top of the actual. Once they copy the actual data as plan, they have to change the data manually, right? But here they incorporated predictive forecasting techniques like automatic forecast, linear regression, triple exponential smoothing. This kind of techniques they introduced. Because of these predictive techniques, the user, based on the actual data, system only executes the algorithm, and it generates the plan data. If the customer is okay with this plan data, they can save it, otherwise they can change it. And like any other planning product, you can use comments here, and you have process controls to develop this workflow. You have allocations. Any planning product required variance analysis, here also you can perform the variance analysis, and Excel integration also available. So as I said, like rich modeling, right? So here if you see, when I go here, so this is my SAC screen. The modeling happens from the modeler here. This modeler, here you can create the model's dimensions, right? When you create a dimension here, you can select what type of dimension you want, and you can create any name here. And when you click on create, so you feel like Excel here. You see, when you click here, you can directly add the numbers here. You can add the properties here. You can add the hierarchies here. Same way, when you are creating a model, right? It's easy to, so when I go to the models, so let's say I have a model here. In the model level, you can define the measures, KPIs, and you can define the dimensions. And also you can define the calculations here at the model level. So here you have option. Here you see the stories. You can create the stories. You can create canvas. Using these stories, here we will convert. So you can add a table here. After adding the table, you can perform top-down planning also here. So whatever models you want, so you have to add those models, then you can create it. Yeah. So now here you see these, we have to configure the things. I have not configured it. I'm just showing the screens, right? So here you can do the modeling. So Excel kind of screen available. Data entry, so you can add the tables, you can add the entries here, data like this. And here you have some flexibilities you are going to get. If you give plus 10%, it automatically adds the 10% to the number. If you give minus 10%, it will decrease minus 10% here. And you can use existing calculation. The stories, it already having some calculation system inbuilt calculations. You can use those calculations, variance calculations, rankings, bottom 5, top 5, all those. And private version, as I said, like you can copy the public data as per your own private data. So once you are okay with this private data, you can publish. On the fly master data you can create.
Kiran, here we are using any AO kind of templates or it is a different?
It's different. So stories having pages, it's a separate, it's very good concept here, right? We'll you see that one. It's not AO kind of. AO is very restricted, right? So plan master data creation. So in the while planning only, you can create the master data. That option they have given. So the data logging, once the data is planned, so for a particular data region, you can log the data. So for example, 2025 forecast version, we completed the plan. So we can log that particular data. Then allocations. So you have source and target based on the drivers. You can allocate source data to the target data. Data actions, as I explained. So you have some screens in the data actions. So you can use copy, cross model copy, allocations, currency translations, advanced formulas. So advanced formulas, you can see you can write the code like script here. Then currencies. So you can define your local currency to uh, other currencies, the exchange rates, and you can get currency translation into multiple currencies, not only one currency. You can have, so for example, your local currency is euro, you want to see the reports in Canadian dollars and USD, you can. You want to use previous year exchange rates, you can use. Value driver tree, so that's what I said. So it looks like value driver tree, it looks like a tree here. These are the drivers. Once you change the drivers, it automatically calculates the upper levels. Predictive forecasting, as I said, you have three techniques, SAP delivered techniques. So using that, system automatically generates, see this yellow color, whatever is there, it's system generated data. You can add it to the table. Collaborations, to so collaboration, when you say you can open a report and here you can discuss with your regarding this report. Suppose one number you want to discuss, so why this number is high or less, low. So you can start discussions with your colleague. Okay, you can share the story here itself, in the discussions itself. And stories, basically SAP delivered some stories, but we can create our stories. So these are there are some predefined templates available, and also we can create our own stories. In the stories, we can incorporate tables, maps, images, and we can connect to the data source, the the models. So here now I explained what we are going to cover here. So this we understood the capabilities, right? This total session, integrated financial planning and product development, we I planned for 30 hours. Right? All these 30 hours are weekend sessions only. Weekend, Saturday and Sunday we will connect. Saturday 2 hours we will connect, Sunday 2 hours, minimum 2 hours we will connect. So the time is India time, evening 9 to 11. I will share all the configuration steps required for these product development. We will do hands-on exercises, and also whatever PDF documents, lesson explanation, I will share those documents. Course fees 30,000 INR. We don't need any server. We are going to use the trial user for the practice. I will give you the sample master data and transaction data for practice, and you can. So you can attend these sessions 2 times, yeah, in 6 months. So every 2 months I start. So participants can attend maximum of 2 times in 6 months. For example, after 6 months again you want to attend because of new changes or whatever. So at that time Subsequent third time onward, subsequent redundancies, you have to pay 6,000 INR. Okay? So this is the plan. We are starting this course from the next weekend. Next Saturday we are going to start. Whomever interested, just send an email to me that you want to participate in this particular course. I will send all the details tomorrow with this recording. Yeah. Any questions?
Can you share this PPT and the content of index you were
Sure, sure.
sharing before? Yeah.
Kiran, here normally is a BPC after this version or related to same BPC or is it different SAC?
So see, whatever planning solutions, right? So for example, BPC, I can implement financial planning. Even in S4 HANA, I can implement financial planning. BPC optimized, I can implement financial planning. Even SAC also, you can implement financial planning. The thing is the capabilities, the flexibility it is giving to the user. So we understood some top-down planning, collaborations, and predictive forecasting. So if you see BPC, predictive forecasting is not available. Top-down planning is not available. Value driver trees are not available. Private versioning is not available. So looking at these capabilities, SAC is now in demand.
And here it will be only as a planning related only, no? The V and A like kind of thing in SAC. It will not come any consolidation related, no? Here.
So what SAP did earlier in BPC, we now also we have planning and consolidation, both solutions, right?
Yeah.
Now the planning solution SAP added in SAC, consolidation solution they added in S4 HANA group reporting,
Okay.
Okay.
right?
You can
Another question? Yeah.
question. One question on the system. So you mentioned that we are going to use the trial version.
Hmm.
So how about the getting the real-time data or import data from the S4HANA system or BW or any of the real-time data from the SAP systems?
So we are not going to use any source connections, right? I'm not going to import data from S4 HANA or any other systems to SAC. I'm going to use flat files only.
But in the
So
real-time work, we have to know and to work on the real things, connection with the S4HANA and all those. So are you going to
correct.
explain those?
I'm going to share a step-by-step process. So tomorrow, if you want to load the data, so for example, if you want to import from S4 HANA, right? You want to import S4 HANA master data, S4 HANA like GL account hierarchies, company codes. So I'm going to share the documents how to do that. And also step by step video I'm going to share it with you. And also transaction data import also step by step videos I'm going to share it with you. Same, you just need to follow that one. Even for the export from the SAC, you are going to export the data to S4 HANA at docp table or statistical key figures or whatever. For that also I'm going to give the videos
Okay. Any specific reason that you are not covering that part and providing the videos for that?
because we are using the trial user, right? uh, Trial user we don't have an option to connect with these systems.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And Kiran, I come from ABAP and BW background. I'm very new to SAC without any basic knowledge on SAC side, as
Hmm.
well as I don't have any functional knowledge as well.
Hmm.
Is it
Hmm.
something, any prerequisite I need to acquire to pick up this training course, or it is feasible to learn the concepts?
Uh, so actually, I designed a course. Like you might have heard DataSphere, correct? SAP DataSphere. So
Yes.
I have another course which is DataSphere. In the DataSphere, I'm covering the functional aspects and embedded analytics plus this DataSphere. So that is first analytical part, right? This is planning part.
Yeah.
So that is not mandatory to understand this integrated financial planning. But if you you can go for this integrated financial planning, but to get the functional knowledge, I will tell you what documents you have to go through. You have just send an email, I will tell you.
On the data sphere side, currently I'm working in a data sphere projects only.
Mhm.
Addition
So,
to BW.
okay, then if you have that one, you can go for this. If you're already having experience in data sphere, and you might, I mean, you know how to create the reports and all those, right?
Yeah.
Finance reports and all those things. So, it will be
Finance
help.
part, functionally finance part, it's out of my scope. That's the reason I don't have that basic functional knowledge. Sales
Understood.
part I am good.
Right. So I will share some documents. You just send an email after that. So I will share some documents. You just go through that course. You will understand.
Okay, thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You teach group reporting as well, right?
correct.
So if we compare to group reporting with SAC, both are same or it's completely different?
Group reporting is for the legal consolidation, right? And this is for future planning. So both are different things.
Okay. So are you planning to start group reporting as well in near future?
Yesterday only I started. Yeah. You just send an email. Whenever I start, I will send an email to you.
Okay, sure.
One last question, Kiran. Once we complete this training, can you please help us understand how much years of experience, expertise we can expect out of this
Three,
training?
3 years.
Okay.
So after this, after my project, after my training, you can easily implement a project. That I can assure you.
Okay.
I'm stopping the recording.
Hey, Kiran.